What's up, everybody? I'm gonna go over the homework from last night with you all. We did the first 4 together, so the next 8 are gonna be up here. Please make sure you grade it now. I would like to see how you guys are doing, and I would like you to write at the top how many you missed, okay? So we're gonna start with number 16. Our main goal is to get the variable alone. Does anyone remember why? If you said so that we can get our answer, you're right. So remember, we have our equation. It's a balanced scale. If we do something to one side, we have to do it to the other side so that it's equal. If you look at number 1, our variable is the y. Adding 13 is the sand. I need to get rid of that. So instead of adding 13, I'm going to subtract 13 because that cancels it out. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other side. My answer ends up being 85. My check step is there. Like I said in my video yesterday, you should know these are right by the check step. Okay? Go ahead and check 17. The answer ends up being 240. The inverse or opposite of subtracting 80 is to add 80 to both sides. That's the key. You're gonna get so tired of me saying that. Okay, number 18. Instead of adding 27, the inverse would be to subtract 27 from both sides. Check step is there, answer is there. Number 19, instead of subtracting 89, we would add 89 to both sides. We want to get the variable alone because we get our answer. Check step is there. I'll leave it there for a second for you guys to check. You can always pause the video as well. Okay, moving on, number 20. Instead of adding 23, we're going to do the inverse, which is going to be to subtract 23 to both sides. We get an answer of 17. Check step is there. Okay. Number 21, the diamond, the variable is s minus 186. That's the sand. Okay. So instead of subtracting 186, we're going to add 186. What I did on this one, some students do not like when the variable is on the right. They're used to reading from left to right and it just throws them off. So I rewrote this problem, and you can always do that. Remember, an equation has 2 equal sides, so if you'd rather write s minus 186 equals 672, you're good to go. Add 186 to both sides, so I get my variable alone, so I get my answer of 858. My check step is there. Hopefully by now, you're catching on to how we're doing these. And then the last 2 are both up here for you to check with the check steps. You must show it to both sides. Have I mentioned both sides yet? Maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times? Okay, I'll get out of the way so you can see the screen. And now we are going to go ahead with today's lesson. So we're taking a little field trip. We're going to move my camera. And if you could grab a whiteboard, that would be awesome. Okay, so for today's lesson, we're going to start off by reviewing yesterday. The inverse to solve the equation of adding is to subtract. The inverse of subtraction is addition. Today, the inverse of multiplication is going to be division, and the inverse of division will be multiplication. Remember, inverse is like the opposite, which is what we need to do in order to be able to solve these problems. Okay, so as I'm looking here at 4 problems, my first problem says 4 times y equals 16. Write this on your board. So I need to figure out a way that I can get y by itself. So right now I'm multiplying by 4. What would be the inverse to multiplying by 4? You're right, it would be to divide by 4. But here's the issue. If I divide by 4 on one side, my equation is going to not be balanced. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side, or no bueno. No bueno. It doesn't work. Okay? So if I divide by 4 on this side, remember a fraction is division. I have to divide by 4 on the other side. Those canceled out and became 1y or y, which is what I want so I can get my answer. 16 divided by 4 is 4. That's my answer. This is the work. The check step would prove it. Don't need Mr. E. You got your check step. Okay, next one. Variable's over here. Doesn't throw it off. Here's the diamond, the variable, Mrs. E's ring. Here's the sand. Instead of multiply by 5, you are going to divide by 5. That got C alone. Why do we want C alone? So that we can get the answer. What is 25 divided by 5? It is 5. If I want to do my check step here, what you need to do, it works. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, now let's go down and do a couple division ones, and then I'll let you guys try your assignment tonight, which is a little different than it's been. So where's my variable? Okay, what would I do to figure out what number divided by 4 is 6? Okay, so I'm going to have to do the opposite, which is the inverse. So instead of dividing by 4, I'm going to multiply by 4 on both sides. And I get an answer of 24. Now, my check step, 24 divided by 4, does it equal 6? It does. Remember I said, if you guys are not understanding this, you may have to go back and rewatch it. Okay. I don't think the book is going to do this, but I may do this. I want to make sure you guys know what division is. So a lot of times in algebra, division is written as a fraction. So this says 7 equals y divided by 2. What's the inverse to dividing by 2? It's still the same thing as number 3, it just is a different way of writing it. If I divide by 2 and then multiply by 2, the 2's cancel out. I get my variable alone. What's 7 times 2? It is 14. And my check step here, which is going to be really important, checks out. Okay? The video's shorter today. I strongly encourage you guys to rewatch how I did that if you're lost. All right, now, I'm going to go back. Another field trip here. All right? And we're going to move the camera to today's homework. If you want to push yourself, and this isn't for everybody, there's an optional assignment. Most of you should do the regular, which is on page 61 in your books. I'm going to do a couple of those, 12 through 23. If this is extremely easy for you and you really feel like you already have it, you can try a different assignment, which is the challenge on page 62. It's completion. If you show your work, full credit. Okay? Just make sure you try all the problems, regular or challenge, not both. You don't need to do both. I'm not trying to give you an hour and a half of math work, which it wouldn't take that long, but I'm not trying to give you even 50 minutes of math work. Regular or challenge. So I'm going to go over a couple of the regular problems just to make sure you guys are in good shape. And again, this is the assignment, page 61, 12 through 23. Most of you will live here. So we're going to look at number 12. The book says D divided by 2 equals 108. What's my variable? Right, it's D. So instead of division, I need to multiply by 2 on both sides so that I get my variable alone, so that I get my answer, which would be 216. You don't need me. You guys, if you do the check step, you will know you have 100 on the homework because it won't work if it's wrong. Okay? All right, number 13 says 7,200 equals 800s. This looks really tough and it's actually not bad. Where's my variable? Correct, it's the s. So I got to get rid of the sand. I need to pull the s out so that I get it by itself and then I get the answer. So instead of multiplying by 800, I'm going to divide by 800 on both sides so that my scale is not off, both sides. That got s alone. S comes down here by itself. 7,200 divided by 800. What would that be? You're allowed to use calculators. The answer would be 9. If I want to check it, if I plug in a 9 for the s, it works. Okay? Most of you will, again, do the regular, and I get that. A few of you could try the challenge. This is multiplying and dividing equations. Let me know if you need any extra help. I'm happy to meet with you after school. You guys do great. Have a great day.